All right. Gregory Ford from CanadianBlackBusiness.com. So I don't ever make videos. I try to stay away from the social media thing and making videos. I'm not a YouTube type of guy. I'm in the black struggle. I try and keep. I try and work on the business side of it because I feel like that's what we need. I feel like that's something that's very much lacking in the black community. So I try to focus on the business side of things and try to, make things work and make some headway, in terms of promoting business sense and those type of things in the black community. So I don't really get into making videos and stuff, but now I think I'm gonna make a few videos because some certain things that I'm seeing is just like I can't put up with. So this video, this latest situation that I have been seeing on the internet. The guy's name, the kid, 22 years old. His name is William McNeil Jr. So he's a university student. He's driving his car. Um, the police stop him, and he's asking the police, "Well, why did you stop me?" Right? They're saying first they said they stopped him because he didn't have his seatbelt on. I mean, then they try to say, "Well, we stopped you because you didn't have your headlights on." Now it's during the day, right? So nobody has headlights on during the day. They didn't even the police themselves didn't even have headlights on during the day. You know what I mean? And I guess they have this law where it says if it's foggy or it's raining, then you have to have your headlights on. But the fact is, it wasn't. You can clearly see in the video it was not raining or anything like this. And like I said, the cops didn't even have their headlights on either. So basically, they just stopped him because they just wanted to stop him, right? And if he's driving without a seatbelt, if he's driving without, and he had a suspended driver's license, well, fine. So those are tickets, right? So if you've catch someone, normally when the police catch somebody that's driving without a seatbelt, or they're making some infraction, road infraction, they give you a ticket, right? They give you a fine. They were just on this guy, like, what I mean, they were acting like they were basically a gang. And so he's asking, why did you stop me? And so that's a bogus, their answer was bogus, in terms of why did you stop me, or your headlights weren't on. Well, we're in the middle of the day. Why would you stop somebody for that, right? When there's people that, you're a cop, right? So you're supposed to be catching like murderers or rapists. You're riding around, trying to catch people, you know what I mean, that don't have headlights on during the day. When you don't even have your own headlights on, that's stupid, right? So we know that was a bogus answer. Anyway, so they're telling him to get out of the car. He's refusing to get out, which is his right. I personally, I don't know. They're asking him for his ID and stuff like that. I mean, to me, I would say, like, I come from the Caribbean, right? So we have this expression: you can't be wrong and strong. You can't be wrong and strong at the same time, right? So if you are already driving with a suspended license, and I don't know if he had a seatbelt on or not. I couldn't really tell from the video, but the fact is, I mean, I would just cooperate and give it to him, what I mean, and do what they say. But the fact is, they're wrong. The cops are wrong. And one thing that he did is that he asked for a supervisor. Okay, now they're obligated to actually call a supervisor when someone asks for a supervisor. They didn't do it. Okay, nobody on the scene did it. Okay, now that's wrong. They're wrong there. That's, as far as I know, that's pretty much. I don't know if it's a law, but I mean, that's not permitted. Like, if a citizen asks for a supervisor, you have to call your supervisor. You can't do that. And they refused to do it. Then a cop breaks his window, which was totally unnecessary to me. He's sitting there. He's not resisting. He's got his hands up. He's sitting there, like, literally like this. You know, the cop is, yeah, show me your hands, as if his hands are hidden. He's like this, and he puts his hands up, you know. Cop punches him in the face from outside the car. Like, I mean. Listen, under no circumstances can anybody in society, in modern society, punch anybody in the face. Nobody can punch anybody in the face, especially and especially not a cop who's supposed to be upholding the law. You're actually breaking the law to say that you're upholding the law, to say that you're enforcing the law. You can't break the law to enforce the law. That doesn't make any sense. So he punches this kid in the face, who's not resisting, still doesn't resist, doesn't throw any punches back. I mean, I don't know how I would have reacted if that would have happened to me. They open his door, they drag him out of the car, okay? Like, I mean, violently, like, drag him out of the car. You watch the video, William McNeil Jr., okay? Google it. They drag him out of the car as if he was, like, I don't know, some serial killer or something. This is a traffic stop, by the way. This is just, okay. I mean, this is normally what everybody just gets a ticket for. Drag him out of the car, slam him on the concrete. There's like 5 guys on him. They're like rubbing his face in the concrete, like forcing his head into the concrete. And then they do this thing where, where cops they'll say like, stop resisting, stop resisting. They're holding you down. They're abusing you, but they're yelling, stop resisting, to make it seem as if what they're doing is justified because you're resisting, but you're not even resisting. And it's like, how much could he resist? There's like 5, 6 of you on him. He's one guy. The guy looks like he's maybe weighs 160 pounds. But what, you know what I mean? How much danger could you be in that you have to be doing all of that? So I just feel like, man, when we see thank God for him. He had his camera on, and so he had his cell phone recording, so we got to see all this. If not for that, they would have just kept on going with their regular narrative, saying, oh, well, he was resisting arrest, this and that. And the only reason we know about this is because he had his own camera. And I just think that, man, this definitely has to stop, and another thing that I find is significant and that I have a problem with is that I don't know how many officers on that scene. There maybe it would have been 10 of them. Okay, one guy got charged. Okay, or one guy got disciplined. I don't even think he got charged. Did he get charged? He got disciplined or whatever, or dismissed or whatever. I mean, they keep saying, oh, well, whenever these things happen, oh, it's just one bad apple. It's a few bad apples. Okay, well, all the 10 of them or more, nobody had a problem with this. Nobody said anything. Nobody pulled the guy aside like, yo, don't rub the guy's face in the concrete. Nobody said, yo, can't punch the guy in the face like that, man. Come on, man. Nobody said anything like that. None of. So where was the good apple? Where was the good apple? If it's one bad apple, and that was him, where were the good apples? Because nobody had a problem with what he was doing. You know what I mean? So this is not one bad apple. A few bad apples. No, this is a systemic problem which is basically these cops are acting like gangs. I mean, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, in a sense, you can blame them as much as you want, but at the end of the day, they're going to keep doing it until they know that there's a consequence and there's going to be repercussions. The reason why they're doing it is because they know that nothing's going to happen to them. Even they know they're on camera. Look at the Derek Chauvin case there. You know what I mean? Like the guy knows that he's being filmed by everybody on camera. Everybody took their cell phone camera out filming this guy, and he's literally killing George Floyd with a smirk on his face because he knows nothing's going to happen. In his mind, he thought that nothing was going to happen to him. You know what I mean? So even though they're on camera, like filming them is not going to do anything because at the end of the day, I mean, the court system is always going to be on their side, and their union is always going to be on their side, and their police brothers are always going to be on their side. So even if you film it, even if it's on their body cam, they still know they're going to get away with it. All these other killings that happened, most of those police officers are back working as police officers. They just changed police departments. They just went to a different state or whatever, and they're still working as a police officer. They didn't get really in any trouble. Most of them, you know what I mean? So I think that until they know that there's going to be some type of repercussion, some type of consequence for their actions, and they're going to be held accountable in a very meaningful way, okay, not a paid, suspension, like they're gonna regret it, then it's just gonna keep happening. And I think we need to get past that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion. Get at me, Gregory Ford, CanadianBlackBusiness.com. Peace.